so they wouldn't traumatize them. But after testing, they discovered that Kravchenko was not susceptible to hypnosis. Kravchenko would later describe the shoot as the happy recollections of my childhood. After the film wrapped, Kravchenko did not act again for another 13 years. Chapter 3. Making Hell on Earth. From the very start, Klimov had one guiding principle: tell the truth. Klimov's goal was to capture as much realism as possible. Each member of the cast and crew felt a huge responsibility to those who had died. As Klimov said, "I have the will to tell the story for truth, even if it takes 9 months to make the movie, and even if..."
Well, that's what sucks about a lot of American war films, is we broadcast ourselves as the heroes and the victims a lot of the time, when we're the ones that are actively just fucking killing innocent people. Not in every instance. I'm not saying World War II films, but every Vietnam film is not everyone, but a lot of Vietnam War films, it's oh, dude, they make you feel for the Americans. When it's yeah, we are Americans, obviously you're going to have some sort of feeling for them, but it's they're not, they kind of overshadow the fact that we were just effectively murdering innocent Vietnamese people in regular ass situation. Not even not even just hey, we're sending you to war because you have to fight these people. They would just kill innocent fucking families in Vietnam.
If no one watches it. The production designer Viktor Petrov initially tried using pyrotechnics for the explosions. But when Klimov saw the results, he wasn't satisfied. The explosions didn't sound real, they didn't feel real. So Klimov made the ultimate decision that would shock everyone: to use real explosives and live ammunition. This created an atmosphere of real terror among the actors. In one scene, Kravchenko...
Real terror among the actors, bro, but they could have died.
...and a cow were placed in the middle of a field while live rounds were fired around them. Kravchenko was so terrified that he found himself clinging to Klimov after, asking, "Is there anything else?" Klimov told him to go back into the scene. The entirety of the film was shot on location in Belarus. Everything was real. Even the extras, the villagers, were real survivors or descendants of survivors from the Belarusian fire villages.
That's awesome.
To prepare the villagers, Ales Adamovich gathered them in a circle and read chapters from his book. He recounted the testimonies of those who had survived the horrors of war. Many of the villagers had heard stories from their parents or grandparents. Some had survived the war as children. The entire crew was under constant stress. But as the production designer later said, all the hardships helped us. Everyone was under constant strain, and it had a powerful effect on the crew. God himself was helpful to us, for the fog not lifting.
Dude, it fucking blows, man. Ugh. Oh, this is making me sad. This is making me sad. Stop.
For the special effects to work, for the crowd scenes with the locals and army personnel to work in harmony. Chapter 4. Truth.
It's horrible that humans are the biggest threat to ourselves. Obviously we're all gonna die one day, but all of the horrible things that happen to humans, yes, there's natural disasters, yes, there's disease, but most things that you cite historically, it's yeah, other humans effectively murdering, torturing, and committing genocide against other people.
And yet, despite all this gore and destruction,
I always wonder how they showcase utter shock so well.
This is Roger Deakins, widely considered to be the greatest cinematographer.
I never understand how movie actors do that. Fully get into the brain and mindset of somebody living in that instance.
Of all time. And he's labeled Come and See as mandatory viewing.
Conrad Orr used to say he was really trying to create beauty with ugliness. You know, he wanted to make ugly films that were beautiful, which seems a total contradiction. But you know, how do you film something that is so brutal but engage the audience with it? That's the key to the film, in a way, that the horror is something you imagine right until the end, when obviously you see the real footage, and then Klimov is basically saying, I could have shown you something much worse.
After screening in East Germany, a former soldier who had been stationed in Belarus approached Klimov and said, Everything you showed is true, but I tried to forget about it and never told anyone. Now, when my children see this film, I don't know what to tell them. And for some reason, even decades later, the film seems more relevant than ever before. As the writer Joseph Brodsky once said, in a real tragedy, it is not the hero who perishes, it is the chorus.
Like that, dude, that is, like, this kid's 14 and they made him look so disheveled. Like, he looks like an old man. They do that so well.
Thank you for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon.
I understand why they chose him, because I feel like he fits the role very well, but it's weird how, like, he's not even an actor, and they were like, nah, we need this kid to be the main actor for this. Director decided that trauma needed to go to another generation when casting the lead. No one wasn't harmed in the making of this movie. Half expected you to say, in this man isn't acting, he was really shot and killed. Why isn't there a hero? I don't glorify war. Damn. There are a few war movies that do that well, though, outside of that. But there are a lot where it's like Inglourious Bastards is one of my favorite movies. But it's not like, I don't want to say it's not accurate. It's a fucking Quentin Tarantino film, you know? Like, it's not a true, like, war movie. You know what I mean? Like, there's war movies that are, like, for entertainment, but also have, like, showing a purpose. But then there's war movies that are like that. And they're actually trying to show you, like, the gritty horrors of I guess, war in general. Hacksaw Ridge. I feel like I saw Hacksaw Ridge in, like, middle school. Yeah. He is a hero, though, in Hacksaw Ridge. Is he not? Guy manages to escape police 3 times in 8 days.
On October 15th, 2022, officers were on foot patrol.
How do you escape the police 3 times in 8 days? Well, you covered in, like, butter? Like, they tackle you to the ground like you're a pig, you just fucking run away? Like, what do you just run out of the cop car? I get the first time, you know, like, a first one, shame on me, second one, shame on you. Third time?
When they observed a male subject standing in front of a bar in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Police were familiar with the male from prior contacts and knew he had a suspended driving status, as well as a bond condition to not be in any bars or taverns. The male was identified
Well, he's outside of the bar, so...
as 27-year-old Larry Baldwin Jr. As the officers were near Larry's vehicle...
Yo, do y'all f with the name Larry? I have mixed feelings about the name Larry. I feel like Larry could be a really cool name or a really shitty name. Depends on the Larry.
They observed him get into the driver's seat and leave.
Running off the apartment building and was caught
Larry Baldwin. That matches.
by like 3.
Allie, stop that Buick. No lights out on 3rd. It's Larry driving.
Larry the Lobster. He has aura. That's true.
Larry appeared to be traveling at a high rate of speed without any lights on. When a traffic stop was...
See, I can't take that serious. Larry just hit a pit maneuver and drifted right across the fucking red light.
On. When a traffic stop was initiated...
Larry. Yeah, the only Larry Wheels. I would take Larry Wheels seriously. But I feel like when you say Larry Wheels, you say his full name. You ain't just call him Larry. Because, like, you're going, bro, really, Larry?
He pulled over briefly, but then took off rapidly.
3rd and Cameron, Wisconsin, Adam King Frank, 5827. Adam King Frank, 5827.
Oh my god, you really tricked them. Holy fuck. Put the car in park. Skirt away.
88, the vehicle's taken off, southbound on 3rd.
Due to safety concerns, the officer decided not to pursue him.
What? Yo, you know Larry's in that car like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hit the stop and go on him.
4
Straight up cross them up.
days later, police observed a vehicle commonly driven by Larry in an alley. Upon approach, the officers noticed Larry in the driver's seat, and he quickly put the car in gear, again fleeing at a high rate of speed.
Larry rolls down the window wearing one of those Five Below fucking, like, disguise masks. Just, like, shitty glasses and a big nose with a mustache. Oh, I've never heard of Larry. Who's that?
Speed.
7th and Main. Stop! Stop! Stop!
Oh, that's not Larry's car. I thought Larry was driving a blue car.
Stop right now! Stop!
He don't see you. I mean, I feel like we need some more effort in this cop's voice. Stop. Stop right now. Stop. I don't really know if he got away 3 times. I feel like you didn't want to catch him 3 times. You know what I mean? You seem to be just letting Larry slide by. You got the car in neutral.
He's leaving out the alley on 7.
Good call, though. We just missed him. He didn't see us at all.
No.
We gotta get, like a Looney Tunes stronger plexiglass that cops set up to catch criminals. Like, in that alleyway right there, you set up, like, a transparent glass that's, like, super strong, and they just run right into that shit.
Good call, though. We just missed him.
Flex tape. Yeah, or flex tape. That would work. That would probably also result in them not dying.
He didn't see us at all.
No.
I knew there was no reason to go pull in the car door, so what I do, jump in the car and...
Yeah. Another felony fleeing.
Yep.
Another 4 days later, police were dispatched to a bar.
A sticky trap. Oh my God, that would be awesome. Imagine you have a criminal fleeing on foot and a cop throws down just a really big, like, bug sticky trap and he gets caught in it. And then you have a really funny body cam footage where he's, like, taking off his clothes to try and get out of the sticky trap. So he, like, takes his shoes off and then his foot gets stuck and he falls down. And then he has to take his pants off and he just tries to, like, crawl out of it.
For trouble with a party call. As officers arrived, they saw several people screaming and yelling outside. They also recognized Larry, and another male began walking away.
Arrest me.
What for?
I don't know. Ask the guy who's recording me for no reason.
No. You're standing out in public.
For what though? What are you walking towards him for?
Videos and
Why are you walking towards him? Like, I'm the one
Nope.
who's talking, not them.
I'm not Officer Graves.
Due to Larry having pending felony charges from the last few weeks, they approached him.
Come talk to me for a second. We got a call here at the Old South about you guys yelling at someone and...
I'm not yelling at nobody. I'm not in my business.
Okay. Larry,
Yo, cool. You ever heard of a guy named Larry?
I gotta talk to you, man.
Let me just cut to the chase here, big dog. We're kind of trying to find a guy named Larry, man. He's just been evading us. I'm not sure he even exists. He might just be some figment of my imagination at this point.
It's not even my name, bro.
Come over here right now. You're being detained.
Bro, like, let's have some, like, oomph into that. Come over here.
You're being detained.
Oh, what?
I gotta talk to you.
Run at him. What are you fucking doing? We're just walking. We're like, dude, we're having a conversation 10 feet away from each other.
Come here.
Larry, get over here, please.
Come here. Stop, you're gonna get paid.
This is where the sticky trap comes out. Imagine right now, you catch his J's in a sticky trap. He's flying right out of his shoes.
Get on the ground. Get paid.
Hey. Oh, no! The decoy flannel. You missed him.
Get on the
My God.
ground now.
How is he continuously falling and they can't get him? Okay, I'm really rooting for Larry. I'm really rooting for Larry right now. I really want to see Larry get out of this. Oh my God, tell me he just like jumps into a car window and they drive away.
Stop now.
Wow, these are really like the most unathletic cops ever. Bro, he's like cartoonishly running right now and you can't catch him? What is this stance? He looks like he looks like a track star in the 1800s.
Justin's running off the 5th, white shirt, black pants.
As the officers pursued him on foot, Larry ran back to his vehicle and got into the driver's seat.
Oh, you're fucking joking.
Stop. Stop.
Larry, please.
Hey, come on, do it.
Haze him. What are we fucking doing? Oh my God, no way.
He has nothing to do with the situation. Why are you guys targeting him? Can you answer that for me comfortably?
Oh my God, who the fuck is this lady? Bro, they have a warrant for his arrest.
Can you answer that for me comfortably? Can any of you answer that? Why are you targeting him? No. He does not have. You guys have solved that. He has no warrants. He has nothing. Why the f are you guys attacking him? I'm the reason you guys got called because he was recording me.
He has
Okay,
felony
nothing to
charges.
do with that. What the f is wrong with you guys?
You need to be quiet or you're gonna go to jail.
Arrest me, please. Because what the f is that? I'm just saying. What the f, yo?
Sounds like he had warrants.
He didn't though.
Well,
We have felony charges on him.
For what?
I don't know. That's
Multiple
what he's got on.
incidents.
Does she even know him? Like, she's saying you don't have nothing on him. He got called. You guys got called because Larry was recording me. But she doesn't know him. So, like, how are you confidently being like, you have nothing on him?
For what? Can you
Like, you don't know this guy.
guys list any f***ing felony charges before you attack another
Felony
person?
flee and second-degree reckless.
Okay, now it is.
Safety.
No, answer what?
Public.
Can you? Okay, please. I'm not trying to be a psycho. I'm just saying. Can you guys please tell me why you attacked that male? Out of all the situation, you guys come here and you attack him for
We're
what?
not gonna talk to you.
You're not? For what?
75 status.
You're not gonna talk to me? Why? How can you not answer that?
We have charges on him.
You guys literally got called because that guy was recording me. Me. Are you guys serious?
People can record in public. People record us all the time.
Okay,
It's not a crime to
you call
record.
the cops and you attack him. For what? That is wrong.
Yeah, that is actually true. Like, I don't understand why the cops were called if she was just being recorded outside. Like, that isn't a crime.
Right there.
Everyone else here in this neighborhood or just him?
The one that stalked
Just him?
me.
Are you looking for anyone else
That is
besides him?
wrong.
Okay. Do we need to talk to Bill or no?
I haven't talked to him yet.
That is
I'm
sad.
gonna call him.
Guess he got away this time. I don't know what her problem is.
I just pulled up.
Listen, man, because you got people talking right here.
Yo, you know what okay, I'm not saying these people specifically, but them kind of stand it, because obviously they're in flat bad.
Make a good person do bad things. The Milgram shock experiment. Most people
I've
believe
heard of this one.
they are good. In the early 1960s, psychologist Stanley Milgram decided to test that belief.
Stanley Milgram was interested in the psychology of obedience.
Milgram designed an experiment to answer one dark question. Can a good person be pressured into doing something evil simply because their leader or boss orders them to? Milgram's question was inspired by the events of World War II. After the war, many people involved in horrific crimes were put on trial. Almost all of them gave the same excuse. They were just following orders. As a psychologist, Milgram found this blind obedience deeply troubling. He wanted to know if ordinary Americans could also be pressured to hurt others.
He decided to see how subjects would react when a researcher pushed them to do things that went against their morals.
The first step was selecting
But
volunteers.
they didn't actually shock people in this experiment, didn't they? Like, you could say psychologically this is fucked up, but they didn't actually make people shock somebody else. They would press the button and then somebody would fake scream in the back and be like, ah! And then they'd do 100 volts. Ah! They'd fucking yell. And then eventually, like, if it got to a high point, like, they wouldn't respond or something.
Of his experiment. He put out an ad offering $4 for 1 hour of their time. But Milgram turned away anyone with a violent
What year?
history or criminal record. He wanted everyday people who knew right from wrong. Once the volunteers were selected, the experiment began. Milgram conducted the study at Yale University.
$4. What year was this? $4. It was after World War II, so it's like at least, it's probably the 50s. So it's the 70s. When was the Milgram? 1961. $4 in 1961 today. $43.
University. But he lied to the volunteers about the purpose of the experiment.
Volunteers were told they were taking part in scientific research to improve memory.
Each volunteer sat at a desk with a machine in front of them. That machine delivers a shock. Wires connected the machine to a chair in the next room. Each volunteer watched as another man was strapped into the chair. Electrodes were attached to his body. Then a barrier was placed between them. From that moment on, the volunteer could not see the person in the electric chair. The instructions were straightforward. The volunteer would ask a question. The man in the chair would answer. If the answer was wrong, the volunteer pressed a switch and delivered an electric shock.
You're going to read these words out and see if he can remember them. And if he gets it wrong, you hit this button and deliver a shock.
But the shocks weren't all the same.
He was told to increase the voltage with each wrong answer.
That was the task. Press a button and shock another person for making a mistake. Milgram wanted to see how far volunteers would go before they refused.
Cloud, horse, rock, house. Answer. Wrong.
Each shock triggered a reaction from the man in the chair.
Answer. Wrong. 150 volts.
However,
150 volts? Wouldn't that fucking kill you? How many volts? How many volts kills someone? Above 50 volts is considered dangerous.
There was one more thing the volunteer didn't know. The man in the chair was an actor. He wasn't actually being shocked. His reactions were fake. As the experiment continued, the actor yelled to stop.
Experiment, that's all. Get me out of here. Get me out of here, please. I refuse to go on. Let me out.
At this point, the volunteers hesitated.
He says he's not going to go on. Please continue.
He says he doesn't want to go on.
We must continue.
But the researchers insisted they continue.
The experiment requires you continue, teacher. Please continue.
And most volunteers did. They felt they were doing something wrong, but they kept pushing the button.
So the guy keeps getting it wrong. Around 250 volts, he's screaming.
Some volunteers strongly protested.
I'm not going to kill that man there. I mean, who's going to take the responsibility if anything happens to that gentleman?
I'm responsible for anything that happens here. Continue, please.
Eventually, the man in the other room went silent.
I think something's happened to that fellow in there. I don't get no answer.
Oh my god, dude. You know how scary that is? You do the last shock and he just has no fucking response?
At that point, the experiment ended.
And now you just think he killed somebody?
Milgram published the results in 1963.
2/3 of volunteers were prepared to administer a potentially fatal electric shock when encouraged to do so.
In total, 65% of volunteers went all the way to the maximum 450 volts. That meant that if the shocks were real, they would have ended the person in the chair. Milgram's experiment proved something disturbing. People don't need to be evil to do harm. Sometimes they just have to be told to do it.
Decent American.
It's a fucked up experiment, but this is like one of the only ones where what was taken away from it is like, it explains a lot of like war, where one guy can make millions of people die by basically just commanding the people below them who command the people below them who command the people below them.
Citizens were as capable of committing acts against their conscience as the Germans had been under the Nazis.
The monster study. What could make an experiment so disturbing that people called it the monster study? The study was created by Wendell Johnson. He was a respected professor at the University of Iowa. Despite his success, he lived with a deep personal struggle. Johnson stuttered a lot. Stuttering is a speech impediment that disrupts the normal flow of speaking. Back in the 1930s, doctors believed stuttering was caused by a biological defect. In other words, stutterers were simply born that way. But Johnson had a different theory based on his personal experience.
You know what fascinates me is Tourette's. I've seen people with Tourette's. I've never actually met somebody with Tourette's. I've always wanted to know, like, how that works. You know? Like, I know this, like, the science behind it, but I'm saying, Jinxie has Tourette's? Jinxie has Tourette's? He has, like, smaller tics, though. Really? What, where he blinks? Yeah, like this? I thought he just does that. I'm more so talking about people with Tourette's that outburst physically. You know what I mean? Like people that curse, like they just have like things they say. Like usually they'll have like a set few that kind of just like outbursts and then like maybe they change over time. I'm just like, how does that work? Like your brain just immediately triggers you to do it unconsciously. It makes more sense like with the eyes like blinking because it's like a physical just twitch almost versus something that's like verbally being like a vocal stim.
Apparently, he had spoken normally his whole life until the age of about 5 or
I gotta ask Jinxie about that.
6, when a teacher told his
Does he talk about that?
Parents that he was starting to exhibit a bit of a stutter.
That comment from his teacher was a trigger. Johnson became anxious about speaking.
He coughs?
Over time, he actually...
I've never noticed. See, that's what's so... I've never... Like, and I've played games with him, and I watched Jinxie. I've just never... I've noticed the blinking, but I thought that's just him blinking.
Developed a stutter.
Looking back, he concluded that it was a self-fulfilling prophecy. Had he not been
Talk to Lacey about it. Does Lacey have Tourette's?
so worried about not developing a stutter and so obsessed over his speech, he never would have become a stutterer.
Well, yeah, okay, sorry. We're getting really sidetracked. The coughing I also didn't notice because when I've been playing with him recently, he had the flu.
Johnson wanted to prove that stuttering was caused by negative feedback, not biology. To do this, he needed kids he could study without interference. In 1939, Johnson walked into an orphanage and told the staff a lie. He said he wanted to give the children speech therapy. The staff agreed, thinking Johnson was there to help. Johnson ran the study with his graduate student, Mary Tudor. Together, they selected 22 kids. Some were stutterers, others were not. The researchers divided them into 4 groups. The first group was made up of kids who already stuttered. The goal was to help them feel calm so that their stuttering stopped, so the researchers praised them all the time. Everyone in the second group was also a stutterer. In this case, the researchers wanted them to feel anxious so their stutter would worsen, therefore they were criticized constantly. The third group was full of children who spoke normally. They were praised and encouraged to keep speaking just the way they were. Then there was the final group. These children spoke perfectly before the
Oh my god, and they wanted to give them a stutter?
Study, but the researchers wanted to make them start stuttering. To achieve that, they were constantly criticized. They were accused of stuttering even when their words were clear.
They were told, you must try to stop yourself immediately. Use your willpower. Do anything to keep from stuttering. Don't ever speak unless you can do it right.
After that, the researchers
Holy shit.
recorded what happened to each group. The 2 groups that received negative feedback were deeply affected. The children who already stuttered became more anxious, and just like Johnson predicted, their stuttering got worse. But what about those the researchers were trying to turn into stutterers? Well, that didn't work. The criticism did not make them suddenly start stuttering. However, it shattered their self-confidence.
Every child in this group began to struggle in school. Some of them refused to talk, even to their friends.
One was so distressed that she ran away.
Literally just giving people anxiety.
Away from the orphanage. This clip sums it up well.
The children who were given negative feedback became more withdrawn, self-conscious, and frustrated, whether or not they actually had a stutter to begin with.
When Johnson shared the results with his colleagues, they were horrified. They warned him that publishing the study could destroy his career. According to reports, they were the ones who nicknamed it the monster study. Johnson never published the study. He hid the documents and hoped his actions would stay buried.
The children also weren't debriefed after the project was over, and
they just left? They didn't go, hey, you were a part of an experiment, by the way, to try and, like, somewhat mend the fucking anxiety that they gave them. They just left. They were just like, all right, well, we couldn't help you.
There was no real follow-up on how they may have been affected by the study long-term.
When Johnson passed away, he was praised as a respected professor. At that point, no one knew about the orphans, but that changed in 2001. A reporter uncovered records of the monster experiment. When the story became public, people were outraged. Some of the kids from the experiment were still alive. They were now in their 80s. Most claimed they struggled with anxiety and shame. The survivors sued the state of Iowa, which is where the study took place. In 2007, the state paid almost $1 million in compensation. There was no debate. The monster experiment should have never happened. This next experiment got so destructive it had to be stopped early. The Stanford prison experiment.
Somebody said, wait, this happened to Jinxie. Bro, you're a dumbass. This happened in, like, the fucking 30s, bro. There was just a picture of kids in black and white from, like, almost 100 years ago.
This experiment was designed to create an atmosphere of oppression.
I'm sorry, that was rude. I was just a stupid... You know how they say there's no stupid questions?
For years, Zimbardo studied how people behave in prisons, the military, and even offices. In each place, he noticed the same pattern. People in power often treated others badly. Over time, Zimbardo formed a theory. People didn't commit cruel acts because they were born evil. They did them because the situation allowed it. Simply put, power can bring out the worst in people, but it was only a theory.
I mean, yeah, I don't want to say this is also one that, you probably could have known the result beforehand, but I think like a lot of philosophers talk about this shit too, where it's like, a lot of religions and a lot of just like historical proceedings in general, and how everybody's desires root in power. Not everyone's, but most things that people want or root in power. If you want money, money is power. If you want, to be athletic, athleticism is power. If you want this, like everything that you go to is some level of power or like power trip in some way that people try to achieve.
To test it, he needed to create an environment where power could be abused. That idea became the Stanford Prison Experiment. Zimbardo built a makeshift prison in the basement of a college building. Cameras were installed to record everything that happened. He added cells, a prison yard, and a guards station. The goal was to make the prison feel real enough to shape behavior. Next, he selected 24
power, honestly, power and control, because control is power. And that's a big criticism I have of a lot of organized religions proceedings, and how like a lot of, not every, obviously, like church or pastor or individual is doing something wrong, but a lot of these things, like people end up doing fucked up shit because like a lot of stuff in belief sets in general, something that might seem peaceful is rooted in control, and control is power.
College students to take part in the 2-week experiment. Zimbardo split them up into 2 groups. One group became guards, the other became prisoners. To help the guards feel powerful, Zimbardo gave them whistles, batons, and mirrored sunglasses. The sunglasses hid the guards' eyes, making it easier to act without empathy. Zimbardo never told the guards to be cruel or misuse their power. He simply gave them authority and watched what happened. The prisoners, on the other hand, were stripped of anything personal. They wore identical clothing that erased their individuality. Their names were replaced with ID numbers,
so that they would begin to think of themselves anonymously as numbers and no longer as people with names and identities.
From the start, the imbalance was clear. On the first day, the guards were polite and careful. They still saw the prisoners as fellow students.
This is unbelievable. They took our clothes.
Hands off the door.
Soon, the mood began to shift.
On day 2, there was a very sharp change in the whole nature of what was happening in that prison.
The guards started raising their voices. Guards punished prisoners for minor mistakes. Their authority was settling in.
The guards then began to escalate their use of power. Some of them had prisoners clean out toilet bowls with their bare hands.
If a prisoner resisted, they were locked in a small closet. This was their version of solitary confinement. Within the first 4 days, 3 prisoners were so affected that they were released. By the 5th day, the remaining prisoners looked exhausted. When they lined up for inspection, they seemed scared.
You see how he did that, boy?
Yes, sir, Mr. Craig.
The guards acted differently too. They were now tyrannical. It seemed like they forgot that they were just students in an experiment. The situation was out of control. It was just a matter of time before someone got hurt.
And at that point, we said, enough, we have to end this.
The experiment was scheduled to last 14 days, but Zimbardo shut it down on the 6th day. In 1972, Zimbardo talked about his
and you wonder how bad it would have gotten. There's a whole movie on that too, and how like some of them literally tried to escape. Like they genuinely treated it like it was prison.
At conferences. He also released a film showing real footage of what happened. Public reaction was intense. Some people refused to believe the results. They argued that Zimbardo unknowingly selected people who were predisposed to authoritarianism. But others believed the experiment proved Zimbardo's theory. Normal people can change when placed into powerful or powerless roles. Decades later, the Stanford Prison Experiment.
I think this is an extreme example as well. I think if you were to redo the Stanford Prison Experiment, I don't think in every situation the guards would become this weird, like, fear-mongering, power-wielding, like, dictators, you know? I think a lot of the time they would just treat it as, like, some stupid experiment. But I think it does show that most people in a position of power are more likely to abuse that power than not.
The consequences of this next experiment affected thousands of people and lasted for decades. Project 4.1. Project 4.1 was officially described
All right, lock in.
as a medical study. Scientists wanted to understand how radiation affects the human body, but this experiment was never planned in advance. It began because of a disaster. In the early 1940s, the US set out to build the most powerful weapon ever created, a nuclear bomb. But there was only one way to know if they were on the right track. They needed to test the nukes they were making. Testing meant detonation. The military needed a remote location to blow stuff up without drawing attention. They chose the Marshall Islands in the Pacific Ocean.
The Marshall Islands is mostly made up of atolls, which are ring-shaped coral reefs with a lagoon in the middle.
But those islands weren't empty. People lived there. Nuclear testing in that region put the locals at risk. But the military moved forward anyway.
Between 1946 and 1958, the US carried out a series of nuclear tests, detonating 67 giant bombs in the Marshall Islands.
The tests continued for years. The explosions grew more powerful. It was just a matter.
And I feel like the test not only probably gave the people of the islands radiation poisoning, but wouldn't it affect all of their food supply and shit as well? But they weren't all nukes. They were probably just bigger bombs. But even then, you're just like killing the environment, like all around there. So even if there weren't people, you're just fucking the ecosystem in that area.
Matter of time before something went wrong. On March 1st, 1954, the military carried out another test.
The shockwave visibly roared across the ocean and hit the camera ship miles away.
But scientists miscalculated the strength of the blast. It was more than twice as powerful as predicted. A cloud of radioactive debris shot into the sky, and it drifted toward the nearby islands.
And then there was the wind. It blew in a different direction than what the scientists expected.
Oh, so they didn't blow it up that close, but they didn't calculate for the potentiality that it would be like drifted elsewhere.
And carried nuclear fallout to nearby populated islands.
On the ground, locals noticed something falling from the sky. It looked like powder.
My cousin Erosi, he was on top of a tree whenever the powder fell.
Kids played in the powder. Adults touched it. Everyone...
Oh my God. Wouldn't you die in like weeks?
Breathed it in. It got on everything. Clothing, food, and even toys that the kids played with. The exposure continued for days. They had no idea that it was toxic. After the fallout, the researchers faced a choice. They could warn the locals and evacuate them, or they could treat it as a research opportunity. Behind closed doors, military leaders and scientists made their decision. Instead of evacuating the locals, they decided to use them as test subjects. They called it Project 4.1. The US knew the danger that the contamination posed, but didn't share that information with the locals. As health problems began to appear, medical teams arrived on the islands. They claimed they were there to help, and they did provide some medical care, but in reality, they were mostly collecting data.
And after testing nuclear weapons on their islands, the US studied the Marshallese people without their consent.
The experiment continued for years. Findings from Project 4.1 were published in US medical journals. The health effects were studied, documented, and shared. Eventually, the Marshallese became their own nation.
The Marshall Islands gained its independence from the United States in 1979.
By then, many locals already understood they were harmed by the testing. In the 1990s, newly declassified documents revealed more details about Project 4.1. Finally, the world realized how the victims were treated as test subjects. The project was condemned worldwide. Some even believed.
But like, what happened to them? Like, obviously it's fucked up, but like, did they have higher increases odds of cancer and tumors? Did some people just like flat out die? Like what? Because they were far enough away from the bomb that it wasn't as immediate as like Hiroshima or like Nagasaki. Like the people there literally would just die from the fallout, or it like fucked up future generations even.
The radiation exposure wasn't accidental and that it was premeditated. Sadly, decades later, many Marshallese people are still living with the effects of the blast. History taught us a lesson through these experiments. When we treat people like test subjects, we lose our humanity. My friends, progress should never come at the cost of innocent people's lives. So whatever you're building, make sure you're not destroying someone else to get there. Visual Venture.
Wow, that was a good video. That was actually a really good fucking video. Use a literal baby for an experiment is crazy. Power can bring out the rest of people. I mean, you don't even need an experiment. See, that's true. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like half of these, it's like, all right, yo, let's run this experiment to just prove something that we already know. I gotta piss, and then we're gonna hop Hold a hell, anxiety warning.
Oh, here it is. Yeah.
How do you hear about this? This is a caving video for the people that don't know, but it's like, do they go on forums where there's people raving about caves that they need to fucking explore? He's like, oh, here it is. Oh, this is the hole to hell. This is what everybody was talking about on Reddit.
This is creepy.
Whoa, that is way smaller than it is.
Bro, the entrance looks like a storm drain. You're gonna go in that?
There's freaking ropes going in. didn't know it was that small.
Yeah, somebody fucking graffiti wrote hellhole on it.
Called a mailbox. It's almost as narrow as my backpack. Oh no.
Bro, there's a rest in peace sign there. Did somebody die here? Yo, the second I peek my head in and this is what I'm fucking dealing with, I'm already turning around. Why would you do this willingly? I mean, he got almost 1 million views on YouTube for it, so money, maybe, or the thrill.
Stop. Yeah, dude, don't go in head first.
Dude, don't go in head first. You're not going to be able to stand. This is like how are you going to go in fucking feet first in this? You're not going to be able to turn down.
Oh, dude, there's a huge freaking spider up there. Yeah. I can do anything but the spiders. Oh, no.
Anything but the spiders. You, for fun, your hobby, or job even, is going into enclosed spaces where you could possibly die, but what really gets you is the spider. Not the feeling that you're gonna be trapped underground and die. The daddy long leg, now that, on the other hand, that one's a jump scare.
Dude, they're everywhere, man.
The feeling of imminent doom in a cave, though? Nah, no problem.
Let's just follow the route. Dude, the floor looks like it's made of wood over here. I swear.
Where do they go? Is there a path? Dude, I'm just staring at fucking random holes. It looks like there's a million... No way he's squeezing through that.
Tree roots. Oh! Dude, that's slick. Who put this rope here? Well, there's a rope that goes up. We're supposed to climb that. Really? Yeah. That's a Walmart rope.
Not even sure what it's tied.
Do they not have a map? They're not going in with a map. They're just like kind of free balling it. They're not even marking where they're walking. They're just like, oh, why is this rope here? Oh, I think we're supposed to go up.
This is crazy. I know.
Do you think they're going to get stuck at some point?
This one's really hard to climb.
This cave looks like the inside of my butthole. What do you know why do you know what the inside of your butthole looks like?
Whoa. There's a...
Maybe a colonoscopy.
Metal pipe in here. Whoa, there's a room up there. That's what the pipe's here for.
I don't think that's what the pipe's there for, so you could use it as a fucking leverage point. I feel like it's just there. Somebody put that pipe into this fucking wall.
Okay. I'm up. Okay. Whoa, it keeps going.
Oh, his body barely fits that he needs to drag the other guy. And they're going to have to go back down that way. Whoa, that's awesome. I can't wait for on the way down. He's like, dude, you got to kick my shoulders. I'm stuck. You got to fucking wedge me in here.
Yeah.
You got to push me into this like a trash can that's a little bit too full. You got to pack my body into the hole.
Oh, no. I don't know if we can make it. Is that tight? We're gonna have to take the helmets off for sure.
Oh, yeah, what could go wrong?
Okay. Helmets down. Oh no, I don't think we're gonna make it, dude.
Like, I love how they... Dude, I feel like if you're a caver... they have to have some sort of device to scientifically know whether or not they're making it through, you know? Like, his test on whether or not he's going to fit is to just try, and if he gets stuck, that means he can't fit. Like, that's the test.
What about getting this side first?
Oh my god. Stop. Dude, and just dragging your fucking open skin across these sharp rocks.
Okay. Yeah.
I would never do this with this guy, but I would love to, like, just listen to him just tell me about, like, some story, you know? Around a campfire, he's like, there was this one time I was in the ass twister. And when I tell you, dude, I was fucking standing, I was in the cave like this. And I couldn't move. So every time I had to move, I would have to even turn my head. It was like, it felt like my neck was going to snap up. I would go, and then I would drag myself. And I would drag myself.
Dude, it goes up.
Like to watch him reenact it.
Keep going. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's going up good, actually.
Where's the end point? Bro, they're not marking where they're going either. They're just hitting multiple forks in this cave, and they're just like, all right, let's just keep going this way.
Got a rope down there.
Oh my god. Stop. That's horrible. If there's a rope the whole way, that makes me feel happier about this.
Dude, it just keeps going. It was tied to a root. A root? Yeah. What? So all these things we saw are roots. Yeah. That's why they look like roots. Whoa.
Yeah, this guy's my guide. This guy's the dude that's taking me through the cave, and then he says some dumb shit like that.
Well, this is actually a fat rope.
Oh, everything looks like roots because they are roots. It's my first time going caving. This guy's my guide. It's fucked.
If it goes down.
Rope, huh?
Big old fat one. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I don't know how we got here.
Come figure it out.
I don't know where my backpack is. That's just off in the middle of the cave. Dude, that goes 60 foot.
Does that go straight down? Nah, he's about to fucking eat shit.
It's another set of ropes.
Oh, dude, it's like a straight decline, man. Let's go down it. I don't even know if we're going to be able to make our way back up. I'm just going to butt scoot across the wall here. Maybe, on the way to get back up, we're going to have to do like a Mario jump, you know, in the mini game where he has to go like, oh. We're going to have to like shimmy. It's going to be like a Jason Statham scene. Fuck.
Oh, you gotta have some sure footing. Guess we're going down this one with the knots.
Yeah, I love how the one support system they have too is like the old rope that you have in your backyard from a tire swing from when you were 5. That's really weathered and also definitely somewhat dry rotted, right? Like this rope could break at any moment. See, that's a nice person. That's a nice person. Whoever that is, smart. You know? Hey, I'm going to draw an arrow for somebody.
Wow, it just keeps dropping.
I'd say.
Dude, it just keeps going.
I say this every time we watch or talk about anything having to do with caving, but I never understand the first person that explored this, you know? Like, somebody laid this rope after already going down here previously. So, like, there was one guy that he was the first dude to explore this, and there was no map. Like, he was just kind of ballsy, you know, just trekking through a cave at random on a whim, just trying to figure out what the fuck's down here. Like, that guy's the dumbest of them all. The smartest in the sense of, like, marking his path, and he kind of, like, helps other cavers. But holy shit, dude. To be able to fucking go through a cave unmarked and just find your way in and out.
It keeps going.
Without falling to your fucking death. Or getting stuck.
Yeah, I'm like 70 foot down.
You're not fitting through that fucking hole. He's gonna go down that?
I think that's the bottom, about 20 foot down.
We're going to the bottom of the hole for what? Why are we going to the bottom of the hole? There's no water oasis. There's no fucking glow-in-the-dark cave. Hell, you're not even getting a fucking fiver, man. You're not getting a wet five at the bottom of this goddamn fucking cave. You're going down here. You're going to touch the bottom. You're going to go, oh, cool. It's really tight space. All right, let's go back up.
Well, I'm looking all right. This is bad.
Yeah, why did the rope have to stop halfway down?
I know, right? Oh, it's getting my chest. Oh, this isn't gonna be good.
No.
I think I'm gonna be hanging from my helmet.
We might not be able to get back up.
I think I'm gonna be hanging.
Oh, you might not be able to get back up. He says as 95% of his body is in the hole. Oh, dude, my helmet might get stuck. Yeah, you might not be able to get back up. Evil human experiments that actually happened. Visual Venture video. Lock in.
The CIA knew that it was breaking, every moral, ethical, and legal law in the books to do these experiments.
But most...
Yeah, it was I feel like the big three are World War II Germany, World War II Japan, and then like 1990 to 2008 CIA did like the worst experiments on people. Stanford prison experiment. I would not say the Stanford prison experiment is on par with like the CIA literally just drugging people and seeing like the limits of the human body with like the torture program. Like, yeah, I think the Stanford prison experiment wasn't actually meant to like be that bad from the start. And it did get bad, but not to the extent of like, yeah, Nazi doctors literally like trying to like see if the brains of twins could be switched or whatever weird shit they did. Giving people like just deadly diseases and seeing how they'd survive. The CIA thought LSD was such a powerful drug it could be used for mind control. They thought there was a time where the CIA was working on like what a so-called truth serum would be. And so they would, two American citizens, John Kiriakou talks about this, and I love watching his clips, but he said they would go around and pick up guys that were trying to get like prostitutes in like San Fran, and then they would drug them. They would like bring them to this area, drug them, and then try and get them to like tell them their darkest secrets or something. I'm like, imagine being a regular guy. Well, not regular guy, you're picking up a prostitute, but still. Imagine being a guy in San Fran. You're like thinking you're going to get laid, pay $100 to like some lady. And then you get fucking dosed with like high levels of acid and just interrogated to see like what you would spill. Like, oh my God. And they would put hummus up their ass. Yeah, they would do that.
Story was that the final results for this cruel test were not even noteworthy.
He says he's not going to go on. Please continue.
He says he doesn't want to go on.
We must continue.
Today, experiments have strict rules to protect people, but that wasn't always the case. In the past, researchers experimented on people without considering the consequences, and the damage often lasted a lifetime. In this video, we'll explore evil human experiments that...
Well, and then the most fuck shit too is they do all that, and it's so fucked up, and they're doing it for research. And then to hide it, they fucking got rid of like 90% of the, papers on a lot of the shit they did. So all of it was for nothing, right? I'm not saying it was justified at all, but like you already did it. You might as well keep the information you gathered, but they destroyed it because they didn't want to get in trouble. So it's like, all right, well now we just did that for actually no reason.
Actually happened, starting with the unsettling cases and ending with the most horrifying.
Unit 731, well, the U.S. also bought a lot of that information from the Japanese, from what they learned.
So it is the new year, guys, and I want to encourage you guys to be the best version of yourselves that you can be. And it would mean the world if you subscribe, and I promise to do my best to make the best videos I possibly can for you. I'm Visual Venture, and you are awesome. MK Ultra. For years, the MK Ultra experiment sounded like a made-up story. Many believed it was simply too cruel to be real. But in 1973, the truth came out. Declassified CIA files confirmed that MK Ultra actually happened, and it involved illegal human experiments.
It was the most secret program ever conducted by the CIA in the United States.
But the worst part was not how extreme the experiments were. It was that people were forced to take part in it. MK Ultra officially began in 1953. At that time, the CIA believed other countries were developing brainwashing and mind control techniques. But there was no evidence to confirm this. But the agency didn't want to fall behind, so they launched MK Ultra. The goal was clear: find ways to erase the memory and then control the mind.
Can we actually like control a person?
And how do you even start doing that? Like it's like on some serial killer level shit. Like trying to actually drug people and just test different substances that are going to like permanently fuck people up.
Personality, can we make them behave in certain ways, make them do something?
MK Ultra quickly grew into a massive operation. It included more than 150 separate projects. These projects
literally what Jeffrey Dahmer was doing. Actually, though, when did Jeffrey Dahmer do all that stuff, though? I think it was after MK Ultra. If it started in the 50s. Jeffrey Dahmer was a serial killer in what, like the 70s or the 80s?
Projects took place in universities, hospitals, and even in public. And some of the methods were so inappropriate that keeping this a secret became necessary.
You know, the CIA knew that it was breaking, you know, every moral, ethical, and legal law in the books to do these experiments.
One of the CIA's main tools was mind-altering drugs. Researchers wanted to know whether dosing people made them easier to control.
Even people in the public were given drugs without their awareness or consent. And
yeah, what was that one story? I think they did it to a town in like France or some shit where they like drugged the bread and the whole town lost it. Where did the CIA drug the bread? Yeah, Pont Saint-Esprit, France. In August of 1951, the CIA drugged 250 people with, like, they drugged the food, causing hallucinations and 7 deaths. Theories suggesting CIA involvement. It was definitely the CIA. It is 100%. Oh my God.
And experimented upon.
But secretly dosing people sometimes ended in disaster. Frank Olson's story is a perfect example. Olson was a scientist working with US intelligence. In 1953, he attended a meeting with colleagues. During that meeting, the CIA spiked Olson's drink with a truth serum. He had no idea. Agents stood nearby and watched how it affected him. When the substance took effect, Olson became emotionally unstable. A witness described him as,
I don't want to say that you would know. I know this is like the 50s too, and people didn't have as much knowledge on like what being under like a hallucinogenic substance would feel like. But like outside of being like straight up roofied and like given Rufinol where you like actually like start to lose consciousness and memory. If I'm sober and you give me a glass of water with acid in it, I'm gonna know that I'm tripping. Okay? Like it's not gonna be a truth serum because I'm gonna be like, wow, I feel really fucking weird now. You drugged me. You're not going to know what you're on, but you're going to be like, I'm definitely not sober.
The effect lasted for days. 1 week later, Olson was staying at a hotel. He suddenly woke up in the middle of the night and ran around the room in his underwear. Then he fell from a hotel window. He didn't survive. But Olson wasn't the only victim of MK Ultra. Many MK Ultra experiments took place in hospitals and psych wards.
However, some of the most damaging experiments occurred at the Allen Memorial Institute in Montreal, Canada.
The patients were already vulnerable. Instead of receiving proper care, they were treated like guinea pigs. MK Ultra doctors wanted to learn how to erase memories.
And he thought that if you could bring a person back down to a blank slate, remove all the environmental inputs that have been put into them, and then you can build them back up in your image into whatever you want them to be.
The methods used were too extreme.
Yeah, but I feel like that's not even like not only not feasibly possible. Like, how would you, if you were to mind wipe like a 35-year-old man. How are you going, what are you erasing? How are you targeting specific memories? Because are you mind wiping everything they've ever known? Like, are you fully restarting, like, they don't even know how to speak? Evil human experiments that actually happened. Visual Venture video. Lock in.
The CIA knew that it was breaking, every moral, ethical, and legal law in the books to do these experiments.
Yeah, it was I feel like the big three are World War II Germany, World War II Japan, and then like 1990 to 2008 CIA did like the worst experiments on people. Stanford prison experiment. I would not say the Stanford prison experiment is on par with like the CIA literally just drugging people and seeing like the limits of the human body with like the torture program. Like, yeah. I think the Stanford prison experiment wasn't actually meant to like be that bad from the start. And it did get bad, but not to the extent of like, yeah, Nazi doctors literally like trying to like see if the brains of twins could be switched or whatever weird shit they did. Giving people like just deadly diseases and seeing how they'd survive. The CIA thought LSD was such a powerful drug it could be used for mind control. They thought there was a time where the CIA was working on like what a so-called truth serum would be. And so they would, two American citizens, John Kiriakou talks about this, and I love watching his clips, but he said they would go around and pick up guys that were trying to get like prostitutes in like San Fran, and then they would drug them. They would like bring them to this area, drug them, and then try and get them to like gas.
My helmet, dude.
Well, if it...
Holy crap, if it didn't, I would have been hanging from...
That goes so much deeper. I thought that was the fucking bottom right there.
My helmet.
No.
Oh my god, that goes so much deeper. He's gonna go down in that?
It drops like another 20, 30 feet.
Holy crap.
Okay, I'm getting off on this level.
Okay.
Huh.
Hey, was that a poop bucket?
A bucket. Oh. Dude, there's a...
Did somebody sleep here?
Dude, there's a bunch of clay sculptures in here. Yeah, there's military boxes.
Whoa. Low iron. Looks like he almost just fucking passed out.
And a rope that goes up.
And a Jesus shrine.
What?
Somebody brought a no parking anytime sign down here. These people are crazy. This is fucking utter insanity. This guy, he went, I'm going to go caving. I'm going to bring this sign. I'm going to steal the sign. I'm going to bring it down here. I'm going to post it up, maybe do a little clay sculpting while we're down here. Shit in a bucket. Set up a Jesus shrine. Work my way back up. Is this like a regular hangout for somebody?
Heck. We got some good artwork in here.
I mean, define good. That looks like a AA battery that's shoved on the back of a clay turtle.
A giant beetle that's powered by...
Oh, it's a beetle.
A battery over here.
I see that.
Oh, wow.
That's a nice cobra and hot dog.
A what?
A cobra and hot dog.
Oh, the cobra, yeah.
That is actually a pretty good cobra.
I took a picture of the cobra.
So is this like the end point for everybody exploring this cave? This is like this is like hardcore geocaching, where they take something and leave something.
What the heck?
What was that?
It's like a shrine. I know. And then a classic rope that goes up to who knows where. Wow. Oh, that's creepy. There's like a little figurine up there you're staring down at.
I gotta say, going with somebody else does make this a lot less scary. Like, being down there with somebody, if you're ever nervous, you're always like, okay, somebody else is here to navigate through with me. But if you're just full alone and it's dark, it would be so eerily quiet. Because it's not even, like, quiet like you're outside. It's quiet like you're in a room that, dude, you're underground. So there's no ambient noise.
Yes. Legend.
Oh, God, there's a fucking notebook.
Here.
What do you think they're leaving for each other? Funny drawings.
Old legend.
From 2024, Haktua! Haktua in a cave!
It was destroyed. 2024, they started this one. Alright, it's just a bunch of people who have signed this. Hey, I'm from Japan.
I'm from Japan. Oh my God, this hole.
Man, OMG, this hole. Look, we got this random guy a shout out here. My name is Mike Ecstasy. Welcome to hell.
Mike Ecstasy. Mike Ecstasy sounds like a guy you'd meet at a bar. He'd offer you a drug that you've never seen in your life before, and then you just never see him again. Mike Ecstasy seems like a guy straight out of the Hangover movie. He's a DJ for sure. Yeah, he's a local fraternity DJ. Mike Ecstasy. Welcome to the hellhole. Oh, we got a little shout out for his music.
At 808 MXTC, I produce and make music.
We got.
I'm like hoping it's techno. Oh my God, this is exactly what I thought Mike Ecstasy would look like. Just a bro. It's actually a pretty good fucking beat. I'm not gonna lie.
But what is this guy saying? They're spreading healing frequencies out to the world. That's Mike Ecstasy. Dude, you're all over the place.
Yeah, they got mad at that shit. You imagine the whole book's just Mike Ecstasy shout out.
Yeah, dude, you're all over the place. Get out of here, Mike.
Oh my God, I actually fucking love these cavers. Stop.
We think that rope just went right back up to where we came from, so we're going deeper. Oh no, there's nothing down here.
Wait, what was that green thing? What is that?
It's just a creepy doll. Oh, that is so weird. Let me see the doll. It's like a Buddha shrine looking thing. Oh, okay.
Yo, on the back of it, it's probably going to say something about Mike Ecstasy. Congratulations, you found my shrine.
The wall.
Make sure to tune into my sick beats.
What'd you see down there? I think it's official, man. The cave ends in a Buddha shrine. That's the bottom of the cave. Yeah. And man, he is grinning. He's grinning? Yeah. Got a couple people praying over here.
Are they getting the clay from in the cave? Like, where are they using this stuff to make these sculptures?
Sounded weird and creepy. Oh, that is weird. It's so weird. Why is it so weird? It's like praying, or no, there's just meditating people here. Meditating snowmen. Mm-hmm. All right. I officially know where we're going again, but we're gonna leave this headlamp here because a subscriber left a comment on one of our videos, and he said he got stuck down here with no headlamp and literally just waited, and his friend finally found him down there. But this is gonna be there.
Yo, getting stuck down there with no flashlight would be horrible. It would be pitch black. Like, you wouldn't even be able to move.
Whoever finds it, it's yours. Alright, I'm climbing out.
You'd shit yourself, but you'd have to be. You literally, if you only had your headlamp and like no iPhone, no other phone light, and that was the only means you had to come down and up, and you make it to the bottom, and then your headlamp dies, you're either A, waiting for somebody to come get you, or you're dead. Like, that's the only options. Like, you wouldn't be able to traverse this cave in the dark. Because it would literally be pitch black. Yeah, just full trusting the fucking strength of these roads.
I don't know if this is the way to go or not.
Oh, no. Stop.
You see something?
Yeah. Oh, wait, I think this is a wall sign. Shout out to Mike Exit.
Okay.
Oh, it's just another shout out. Yo, imagine they're like, dude, we're lost. Where are we? Out of nowhere, they hear Mike.
Oh, this is the tight part. Dude, I see daylight. What? Yeah.
Where the fuck do you see daylight? Oh my god, it is daylight. Oh my god, dude, you have no idea how happy I'd be to get the fuck out of there. Like, if you were somehow like forced to do this.
Oh my gosh. Jeez.
Bro, they went in the evening too. It's almost nighttime outside. That seems horrible. What other videos does this person make? Action Adventure Twins. Oh, they're twins. Scuba diving giant marble mine goes wrong. She found him living in a huge cave on her land. Oh my god. What's their most popular video? High anxiety inside Petty John's cave. Look at that fucking thumbnail. Wow. Dropping GoPro down a deep mystery pipe. Do not watch if you're claustrophobic. We'll fast forward through a little bit. I'm not watching the whole 22-minute video. Yeah, no. Dude, your shoes, your feet standing vertically don't fit, so you have to fucking bend them to the side so you can shimmy through. That should be the measurement guide. If you gotta be fucking sifting through the cave like this with your feet out to the side, like you're fucking, like you're in a ballet pose.
Oh, it helps collect your breath.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this is the part.
It's gotta be like the video though, because I don't even think my head would fit in this part.
Gotta exhale.
Oh, the old exhale trick. Lower the diaphragm. What's the most... Oh, this is the most replayed part. The fuck was that? A stalagmite?
We're here at this crazy low passage. And...
Dude, it's so... What a payoff, man. Look at this view. Look at this view. It took us 6 hours to get down here. It smells like urine.
This crazy low passage. And Tim the Beast is gonna sit in this flooded passage. There ain't much room for anything in here.
Oh my god, wait, there's a note on this wall. Mike Ecstasy.
That's cold, isn't it?
God, it's been everywhere we have.
The hands and knees crawl.
Oh yeah, there's a... See, no, this cave's kind of cooler though, because it opens up like so much to where you can kind of just freely walk around. That I get. Like trying to like push through so you could get to some big payout versus just being at the bottom of some pit. All right. We're going to call that there, though, chat. We might watch more of those. What's really happening with price tags?
This apple and this apple are the exact same, except for one.
Well, here's the first problem. You're buying a Granny Smith apple, which is disgusting, okay? We're not even going to get into the price tag bit yet. The fact that you are purchasing willingly a green apple from a grocery store is gross. The only thing worse would be like you being somebody that's buying a Macintosh or like a mushy red apple.
one thing. I only paid $129 for this apple, but for this one, you paid nearly 3 times that. Not because yours is any better, it's not organic, and I didn't get mine on sale. These are exactly the same, but the algorithm decided that you would pay more than me. Let me explain.
Listen, folks.
Yeah, well, it's really any store that has digital price tags, don't shop at. I think with the I guess advancement of technology, one of the only things that should never change is physical price tags, because that ensures that they can really only change them like once per day. Like unless it's like one singular product that they're up pricing. Like when you see paper, that's how you know that like that's been there at least today.
Start having a rush hour price to it.
These price tags started updating right in front of me.
Just stick it to your customers just a little bit more.
What a wild concept.
Carnegie, Rockefeller.
Do you guys have places with digital price tags though? I'll see them, but not to the point where like Walmart has every one a digital price tag.
Just stick it to your customers just a little bit more.
What a wild concept.
Carnegie, Rockefeller, and Vanderbilt. What do they all have in common? They owned monopolies. Carnegie was the king of steel, Rockefeller was the king of oil, and Vanderbilt was the king of railroads. These guys focused all of their time and money on one thing, and that was dominating their industries. As their businesses grew, they were able to effectively crush any competition and choose whatever price they wanted to charge. And they were pretty much untouchable. But in 1890, a senator from Ohio formed a bill that would allow the government to step in. This bill, also known as the Sherman Act, only had 2 sections. Section 1 made price fixing illegal, and Section 2 made it a crime to monopolize or attempt to monopolize an industry. As you can imagine, when the government passes a law that goes against the richest people in the country, they usually find creative ways around it. So in 1914, the government had to pass.
It's illegal to monopolize, but what counts as a monopoly, right? Like the fact that you have 0 competitors, because you could argue that a lot of the big companies right now, like the top 5 in the S&P 500, are effectively monopolies of their own trade. Like, is Amazon not a monopoly in some way? Like, obviously, the Amazon Prime Video portion of Amazon is not a monopoly. But, like, the Amazon service of, like, okay, yeah, there's Temu and eBay and Etsy and other places where you buy shit online. But, like, I would argue that the majority of Americans and anywhere really where Amazon's available is using Amazon as the first and foremost place where they're buying almost any product.
We're gonna start acting like airline tickets.
So let's play a game to really understand what we're dealing with. Here we have 2 grocery stores, Dave's and Willie's. To keep things simple, let's pretend they each
I'm going to Dave's.
Sell the same thing. Both stores sell their apples for $3 a piece. Customers don't really have a preference, so they just shop wherever their heart desires. But Dave decides that he wants to make a little bit more money. So he lowers his price to $2.50. For the next
Good choice, going to Dave's.
week, the majority of customers start shopping at Dave's for their apples because they're cheaper. But as soon as Willie catches on to this, he lowers his price to $1.99. Again, all the shoppers follow the lower price.
That's just the idea of, like, capitalism, free market, right? The problem with that is nobody ever lowers prices or does anything reasonably without the potential to then just raise it in the long term. Like, it's like short-term gains for, like, or short-term losses for long-term gains. It's just, gross economics. I mean, it's literally just the idea of competitive pricing because you need to, not because you feel like you want to give your customers a good deal.
Price and move back to Willie's. As you can imagine, this could just continue indefinitely, and that's why it's called a race to the bottom. This is the ideal scenario for us because companies are forced to compete for the lowest price to attract the most customers. However, after all this back and forth, both Willie and Dave are now making way less than they did when both of their prices were $3. If they could get together and create a plan, they could both raise their price to $5 and make way more because customers have nowhere else to go for their apples. But that would be considered collusion, and that's illegal according to the Sherman Act.
Well, and isn't it also within reason on how low you're able to drop that price tag, right? Because couldn't Microsoft, the fucking, monolith of a company that it is, sell their Xboxes for $50 and just take billions of dollars in losses and effectively drive PlayStation out of business?
doing the collusion, and instead it's the algorithm. And what if the algorithm didn't just know what everyone else was?
Competitive pricing is what Xbox did initially. PlayStation, I'm not 100% sure, didn't want to sell the PlayStation for $500. But when Xbox, it got leaked that they were going to sell it for that, PlayStation had to match competitively. It's not a coincidence that they're selling for the same price.
But it also knew everything about you. We're going to get to that, but I have something else to show you first. Exchange-traded funds were built in the 90s, and when you invest in one, you get what you get. You can't customize it, and there's only about 4,000 total options in the United States.
This is an ad.
Ideas, visit public.com/grant. Let's take a look at this chart. It's a simple concept most of us learned in school. Here you have a line showing the supply and
sitting here like, yo, bro's talking about ETFs, yo. Like, what am I going to start? Exchange traded funds. What am I on, Robinhood?
Line showing the supply, and here is the demand. The point where these lines cross is the optimal price an object should be. As the demand goes up, the price goes up. As the demand goes down, the price goes down.
Oh my God, wait, a monopoly is just the diamond market. That's the best fucking explanation, is the diamond market. I mean, you could even see that with iShow Speed Stream when Speed tried to buy a diamond and they were like, oh no, we're only allowed to sell to 2 people. Like the diamond market, diamonds aren't as rare as they seem. Like they artificially withhold the supply to increase the capability of them to sell them at a higher demand, right? Because they limit the supply, that increases demand. But if they released all the diamonds they had, then diamond pricing would drop pretty drastically.
Pricing goods, but ever since we started carrying these around, things have changed. Airplane tickets were some of the first things most of us noticed. Depending on what time of year you were buying them or when the trip was planned for, it might be more expensive or less expensive. This is what's called dynamic pricing. It's the reason Ubers cost more during rush hour and why flights cost more during spring break. Dynamic prices.
I think dynamic pricing, though, isn't bad in certain instances. Like, an Uber should cost way more at 3 in the fucking morning when there's less Uber drivers than at noon. You know? Like, if you're trying to DoorDash a fucking burrito at 3 a.m., that should cost you more money because there's less people available. It's different, though, when it's grocery stores that are dynamically pricing a product that isn't rare or a commodity that makes sense to do dynamic pricing for. Like, even flights, it kind of makes sense. Where if it's like the day before a flight and it's not full, obviously they're going to drop the prices because they want to fill the flight. What doesn't make sense is when airlines overbook people and then you have that motherfucker on the comms go, yeah, this is Delta Airlines number 608. We are looking for 2 passengers to potentially take a later flight for $500. No, I'm not getting off the fucking flight. I'm not getting off the fucking flight. Give me $5,000. Give me $5,000. I'll get off the flight.
On customer-specific variables. These are things that are determined without any customer data, but as we've started to open our lives up more and more to data collection, we've pretty much opened Pandora's box and allowed companies to take complete control of our spending. If we return back to the Sherman Act, for something to be considered collusion, there needs to be an agreement to fix prices between multiple parties. But that agreement doesn't need to be said, written, or even directly agreed on. It could be something as simple as a wink. For example, if Dave and Willie, our grocery store owners, are out golfing one day and Dave says, man, the price on these apples is way too low. Then they both go and raise the prices the next day. That's considered illegal collusion. In other words, you don't need a direct agreement at all. You just need to prove that they are no longer acting independently. That leads us to the problem we're having today. And in order to explain this, I think we need to order some groceries. Now, Instacart has been getting...
Bro just Instacarted 2 apples and a fucking box of cereal. Are we dead ass? Are we dead ass? I feel like it's a waste when you're not ordering. Like, yo, I always think if I'm going to order something, I'm going to order like $100 worth of shit. Like, don't, like, dude, you remember that one time when Handsome DoorDashed a fucking Red Bull? Like a singular Red Bull. I'm like, you just paid a guy to walk into a 7-Eleven, grab a Red Bull, and drive it to your fucking house. Like, that is insane.